Good morning, world. Good morning, Eden. It is the morning after the big party. Yes, it was Sachas' sister's husband's 40th birthday party. It was a surprise, so we couldn't say anything about it. And we had a good night. We went to the place where Sachas' mum and her husband got married, and they had the party in the same place. So it was a really nice location, beautiful looking place. Great place for a wedding. Beautifully sunny day. Everyone was out taking pictures. She had a photographer there, she had a magician. She had a Marilyn Monroe impersonator come in and sing happy birthday and give a cake to the birthday man, not birthday boy. And we all had a great time. We even sung karaoke and just generally great night. Really enjoyed it. Had a few drinks too many, but didn't get ridiculous. And Sasha drove us home. So yeah, all in all, great night out. Unfortunately, I was not allowed at this party. I asked my mum this morning if I had my bow tie on for special occasions, would they let me in? And she said no, sorry. How's the morning after the party for you?
Fine.
You didn't drink any juice. What did you have? What was your drink of the day? No, that's not true. You had elderflower press.
And orange juice.
Yeah. So you were looked after. It's getting very bright and very dark very quickly out here. But the weather looks nice enough for a morning Eden walk. So that's what we're going to do. We are heading to that beautiful tree tunnel. Eden seems to be pulling away. She's keen to be out. It looks like it may rain. I think we'll be okay for now.
Get a good walk in now.
Yeah, it's quite a good temperature out. Sasha's wearing her coat, but I'm still in a t-shirt, so there's a bit of a temperature difference between the two of us right now. And we are now in the tunnel. It is really nice, this. We're trying to work out what these trees are and what has created this shape. Does anybody know? I like the way how, even though it's been planted in a row, they seem to have crawled over into the centre to meet each other at the tops. It's like every single tree wanted to touch the other tree on the other side. This is now our second week of not vlogging on the weekends, and to be honest, it's felt nice. It's allowed us to clear our minds like once a week, refresh, so that we're ready for vlogging again when we start up. It's a little bit funny for us to get used to because sometimes we're still filming on the weekend because things happen that we feel like we need to, cover. But because we're not publishing them until Monday, the dates go out and out and out. So we're never going to be exactly on the day. There will be always some kind of delay in publishing between when it's been filmed. Actually been getting some messages, tweets and emails from regular watchers saying they're having withdrawal symptoms from 8 miles from home. But it is allowing us to work on these tiny moments. And even though there won't be a tiny moments going up every weekend, it does allow us to use that weekend to film and edit and sort out music and just get the channel up and running, so there'll be 2 things to get on with, 2 things to watch and enjoy. Tomorrow we are meeting with the landlady again, but here in England this time. We are going to go to her house and have lunch and sign the contract for our home in Portugal. So we're very excited about that, feeling like we're getting closer and closer to having a home.
Yeah.
And just ready for that. I know I've mentioned that a lot recently, but it's getting more and more intense in our minds. It's a very, very bad timing for us to be in this transition period during Sasha's pregnancy and vlogging and doing all this work and just trying to see everybody. It's quite taxing. Full on, and we want to be in our own home. This morning we were talking about buying another vlog camera. One of the expenses of vlogging, because we're using this thing every single day. It is now almost broken again. The buttons aren't working, the zoom keeps zooming in on its own, and we fear that, like last time when we were in Thailand and we only had one camera, if it breaks and we can't get parts for it in Portugal straight up, we may be without vlogging for a couple of weeks, and we can't do that. It's bad for business. So we may have to go and purchase a second vlog camera. Hello, Penny. Don't see much of you today. Good girl. we've noticed that Eden only likes to jump into the car from the driver's side. She does not like jumping in the passenger side at all. Don't know why. You want to drive? Come on then. Here's the keys. A few people got a bit confused the other day when I said we need to sell a car. We're not selling the Mazda, we're selling my old car that's been sitting at my parents' house for the last 6 years. So that's what I was talking about. Needs to go before we go to Portugal. So that's what I was planning on selling, not the Mazda. We are very pleased with this car. It's been great actually. I actually think we got quite lucky with this car because since we've purchased it, I've been looking online to see what they've been going for, and I found similar models and similar ages for up to £7,000. So I don't know why they're charging so much money, because we got this for under £4,000, which I think is excellent. And I thought was the going rate, but clearly it's not. So we got lucky, Sash.
Yeah.
And it's a nice colour as well, which I think makes it stand out. Don't like boring cars. We've just popped into a Tesco's, so I'm going to get a nut roast. Already back on the road. I got 2 wild mushroom, chestnut and Stilton roasts, but it feels really light. So I thought it might not be enough food, and I got Linda McCartney's 6 vegetarian red onion and rosemary sausages. One thing that I feel about being vegetarian that we miss out on is having good roast stuff, because the nut roasts you can buy from the shops just are never really that beefy. When I say beefy, I mean chunky. They're never hearty. So I feel like we need to make up our own nut roast recipe so we can make our own one, Sash.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Maybe next week I'll make one.
Yeah.
A proper one.
The ones that you buy from the shop just never good enough. But it's been quite a few months now of not eating meat, isn't it, Sash?
Yep, almost 3 months.
Almost 3 months for you, yeah. And definitely not missing it. Last night at the party, we were the only vegetarians there, and they accidentally put down some roast lamb in front of us. And even though it was very well presented and well cooked, wasn't tempted to eat it at all. Later in the evening, when there were rolls being handed out, lots of bacon rolls were being shoved in our face, and I was not interested at all. Like we had halloumi rolls that were made for us, and it was, to be honest, halloumi is quite salty, isn't it? And so is bacon. So when you eat a halloumi roll and when you eat a bacon roll, the only difference is the texture. And I don't really miss the texture of bacon. So yeah, I don't miss it at all. Getting used to all the changes in our lives. Changing from meat to vegetables. Buying a newer car. Taking advantage of technology. One thing that's always been important to us is music. It really influences quite a lot of the things that we do. And being able to connect our phones to the car, listen to a huge library of things at our fingertips is an amazing jump in technology, and something we both really enjoy. When we're driving from England all the way down to Portugal, spending so many hours in this box, being able to indulge in good music is one of our favourite things to do. You awake now? You had a long sleep in the car, didn't you? Go on then, get in. Go and see Bex. Oh no, Mum, I hate Bex. She's so noisy. She doesn't really hate Bex. She's gotten used to her now. Because Bex is quite a playful dog, it takes Eden a little bit longer to get used to being in her company.
Hi, Bex.
A big monster. Don't know where my brother is at the moment. Just spent 10 minutes playing with Bex. Eden doesn't like to play with toys, so that's one of the advantages of having a big dog around. You can play fetch and you can throw and pull and get some exercise at the same time. Eden, you've never been a fan of all those games. You're a lap dog, aren't you? You just like being on our laps. Yeah? And I like going to bed too. Not.
Jay and I are cracking on with some eBay stuff, packing up some bits that sold yesterday so they can get collected and sent off tomorrow. I've just finished the pile for today, and then we need to relist some more stuff and sort through another big pile of our items to find some more bits that we can put on there. Bex is currently sitting outside enjoying a dentist stick in the sun. Cam and Shell are doing some gardening, and Eden is sleeping in her bed. It's currently Sunday, so we are just having a lazy Sunday at the house.
Just wrapping up the studio kit that you saw us talking about the other day. Managed to sell it for about £250, which is about half what we paid for it. But we're quite happy with it because we've used it for many years and we've made our profit from it over the years. So yes, onto a new owner now. The piles are gradually getting smaller, but there is still a lot to move. Kamel's still grafting outside. Just putting some veg in. We're gonna have a little roast soon. And I have just whipped this little bitch out of the cupboard. Who remembers this horrible monster? I'm not sure if I'll get a chance to put it all back together today and fly it, but I'm going to charge it up and make sure it's actually still working as it should be, and then I'm going to try and sell the thing. My brother was just asking me if I feel like the technology is really ancient in this thing, and I don't know. It's actually been upgraded quite a lot since we bought it, and it can fly, but it was just never the right drone for me. It needed far too much maintenance, far too much knowledge of how to build and fly proper drones, that it was never ever a usable item. I'd pull it out of the bag and it would need so much knowledge just to get it up in the air and keep it up in the air that it just wasn't suitable for our needs. The Phantom products are like Apple products, they just work. They've been designed by DJI to work exactly as they should for somebody who's not an expert user, and a novice can just pick one up and fly it. And even though after years of flying this thing I don't feel like a novice anymore, I just feel like the practicality of having something that works straight out of the box is so much more viable for a YouTuber who's not really got the time to be a drone technician. So somebody other than me will make good use out of it, I'm sure. Right, I've finished doing the maintenance on the Captain, that's what I used to call it. We're going to put the carbon fibre blades back on now and give it a test drive later. Hopefully it will fly nicely so that we can get a video of it flying in the air, and then if anyone wants it posted to them I can show them that it was actually a ready to fly kit when it left this house. Dinner time. This is the nut roast. Yeah, with the vegetarian sausages. Kamel's just made us some gravy, and we were looking at the traditional standard red Bisto gravy, and it turns out it's actually suitable for vegetarians, but roast potatoes are not. How weird is that? The ones that you buy and you put in the oven, they've got beef dripping on them, so you would go into a shop, get some roast potatoes thinking you're all good, and you're not. I've come outside to see if I can give this drone a bit of a test flight, and I can't lie, I'm not feeling very confident, but I need to get some shots of it flying, so let's give it a go. That drone did not spend long in the air, although we didn't crash. So that is a good thing. Now, that has got nothing to do with my piloting abilities. This thing is not very well designed, I don't think. It needs an expert's touch to bring it to what it needs to be. But we've got it back down in one piece. Here's the evidence. Apologies that we didn't film too much of it flying. It is still in one piece and unbroken. All propellers are intact. Just anybody that's been following this channel for a while will know that flying this thing fills me with dread every time. And yet there are other users of the same brand that completely swear by it, so maybe it is me, I don't know, but I just want it sold on. Hopefully that will be the last time I ever have to fly the thing. For anybody who's looking for a more detailed description of why I don't like flying this thing, this Phantom has got a fixed body, so none of the motors move or adjust in any way. So that means when I put it in the air, it always hovers straight, and it always has the same function every time I put it up into the sky. You know, it's not going to move, nothing needs adjustment, that kind of stuff. This has got tube arms and they twist like this and they flex. Now, I've spent a lot of money upgrading it, trying to solidify it, using anti-vibration mounts and all kinds of things, and still there's like fractional differences because of how it's made. And because it's not a solid fixed body, it just never flies the same way twice. So that is why it's not designed for me. Maybe an expert can take it apart and make it into something a little bit better, or they can add a bigger camera to it and sort it out, because I've seen people using these things properly and they do carry more weight. But for me, that's the end of the steady drone. It's got to go. What do you think, dogs? Do you agree?
We've been doing drums on it.
What's happening over here? You're trying to get baby movements.
So we're doing it. We've been doing drums.
That's it. That's the end of the day for me. I feel exhausted from all that drone business. So,
Scary.
yeah,
Still.
it is. So we're going to end the vlog here. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today. Don't forget to subscribe to both our channels, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
I would send that.
We need to make this into a box.
Oh, please.
So what time do we have to drop it off?
Anytime.
You don't know. I already asked you for a box, didn't I?
Yeah, it's the only one I've got.
Tip it out and just use the card.
I only have envelopes.